Daily success, daily success. Plan the week ahead, be excellent. Make money moves, achieve your goals. Transform your life, one routine at a time. Daily success, daily success. Go and get yours. You better go get yours.
Welcome back to the show. Today, I wanted to share with you another training from our Plannerpalooza Get Organized Challenge. And the topic for today is things successful people do to manage their email inbox like a professional. And we specifically cover how to deal with other people's priorities, which is exactly what I call email, and fires that show up via email, how to get your inbox down from thousands to 20 emails or less, hacks for managing your email so that you don't miss out on money, fun, or career opportunities. And so what I'm going to share with you is a clip from that specific training. If you would like to enjoy the entire training, then you can find it on my YouTube page, which is Jamila Payne, Jamila Payne, or inside of the Success Squad private Facebook group. And that is our community for all of the daily success insiders, just like you, which means you're a person who has experienced our work, our principles, and is excited about being able to achieve your goals and live your dream life. And so you can request to join that private community by going to facebook.com/groups/daily success insiders, all one word. So let's go ahead and jump into today's training. The action for today is to go to our website and the post for this episode and share what is it that you are going to do to successfully manage your inbox like a pro. And everyone is at a different place when it comes to email. So I want you to think about where you are. So is your goal going from having thousands of emails in your inbox to getting down by 50%? Do you want to practice email inbox zero? Do you want to become a person who responds to email on a more timely basis, or just not miss out on opportunities anymore because you're not responding enough? So I know that this training is going to be a significant help for you if you've ever had the experience of feeling overwhelmed by your email inbox. Okay, we're going to officially jump into it now. Definitely share what you're going to work on the post for today's episode.
I had this experience myself. It's been a few years ago now, but I got a call or an email from a client saying that, hey, Jamila, we reached out to you about a speaking opportunity a week ago and never got a response. We wanted to follow up and see if you're interested in speaking at our conference. I'm so glad that they could not see me through the telephone because I cringed. Like, I was horrified at the fact that they had reached out to me on email, sent a follow-up, and then called me and were like, hey, we could not actually get a hold of you. And I knew that my email inbox had been a problem at that point in my life. I had been avoiding it for about 6 months, cleaning it out, because I kept feeling like, oh, it's just going to take so long and I don't have the time. When am I going to get to it? And that for me was a final straw, because as a person who is and even was at that time like a full-time business owner, it is critical, right, that I'm able to operate like a pro. And that definitely means being able to get back to clients or potential clients in a timely fashion. And so I like drew a line in the sand on that day. Like, I am going to tackle this monster and never again be in this position. And at that time I think it was over 2,000. It was close to 3,000 emails in my inbox. And I was like, I have to be done with this. And I know that you might have even more than that. Like, I know that there's somebody who has more than that. So why don't you share in the chat right now, how many emails are you struggling with in your inbox? Where are you at? Is it 100? Is it 500? Is it 1,000, 2,000, 3,000? Where are you at right now in your inbox? Don't be ashamed. Go ahead and share. I'm excited to see, especially because we're going to be working together to make sure that you tackle that inbox. All right. Jessica says 20K. Cynthia, 1,026. May, uncontrollable 16K. I love that you said it's uncontrollable. All right, let's see others. Keep going. How many emails are you currently latched onto that you have not been able to let go of? Feel free to share it in the chat box. So for me, that began my journey. I was like, okay, I need to figure this email thing out and really be able to operate like a pro. And so what I'm going to share with you is the process that I use to be able to get my email inbox. I think at that time I went down to 0, and now I typically try to keep my email between 20 and 30 messages. Now, let's just say in a given day, I might get into 100 emails, but by the end of the day, I'm working to like clear out that inbox to get back down to that 20 or 30 messages. So I'm going to share with you that entire process. Okay. Stacy says, that can't be right, Stacy. That can't be 71,000. Stop it. I don't even think you must pay for storage, Stacy, because Gmail is not letting you have 71,000 emails. No way, John. 109,000 emails. That has to be across multiple accounts. Crystal, I practice inbox 0. I have 5 unread. Okay, boss, Crystal, I love it. That's awesome. Crystal is coming for everybody. That's like in Planner for Lisa. She's like, look, I got I'm getting my office together. I'm getting my filing together. I'm getting my emails together. She's killing it. Lacey says 84. That's great. That's awesome. Okay, one account, almost 20 years. Okay, that makes sense. That totally makes sense. And I think I said James earlier. I meant John. Apologies. Okay, so common reasons why you're on inbox overload. First is that you might not have any system for processing the emails. They're just coming in and you know that you're supposed to read them, but beyond that, you have no idea like what to do to handle these emails or make them go away. Second is that you might be utilizing your email as a to-do list. Third is that you might be constantly checking email as if it's your number one priority. Like you're the person who they can email you at work in the middle of the night and you're like checking emails, or you're checking them before you even get out of bed. You roll over, pick up your phone, you're on email, you're on Insta, like you're just doing all the things like it's your job. Fourth, maybe you haven't sorted your fun mail from your work mail, meaning that you have everything kind of pouring into one place and you subscribe to all sorts of like catalogs and stores and Groupon and Netflix and everything. And it's all coming into your inbox. And we know like those retail stores send a lot of promotional messages, right? Or maybe you have too many accounts to manage, and that could also be preventing you from managing your email. So let me hear in the chat, which ones are most true for you? Is it 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5? All right, so let's talk about organizing your inbox, having that organized inbox. Now, cleaning out the clutter can definitely feel like a daunting process, especially if you're at the double-digit thousands, 10,000, 15,000, even 6, 8, 9,000, 20,000 emails. Certainly, it could feel daunting, right, to get rid of those emails. However, it does not have to be an overwhelming process. And so now I'm going to walk you through the 7 steps that you would take to be able to get your email inbox down. You could get it all the way down to 0. My goal for you will be to reduce it significantly, and that means by more than half. Now, for those of you that are in the double-digit thousands, I would recommend that you try to get down to the hundreds or less than 100 emails and then work from there. And this 7-step process is going to help you to do that with ease. So if you just joined, at the top of the chat, you'll be able to find links to the article that I wrote around cleaning out your inbox. And so the 7 steps are there, so just that you have it with you. So in case you miss anything as we go along, you don't have to worry about not writing it all down. Okay, so step 1 is to make sure, let me just clarify here. I'm really going to go through this example using Gmail, but every single thing that I'm going to say also works for Outlook. There's only one piece that doesn't, and that's if I'm going to mention a few applications. Otherwise, everything that I'm talking about works for both Gmail and Outlook, so it doesn't matter which of the 2 that you're using. Now, if you're on AOL or something like that, hey, I don't know what to tell you. But I'm pretty sure that they have a lot of similar features, and this methodology essentially can still apply, okay? Because I'm not talking about anything that's like advanced Gmail. I'm just talking about a way to process your email and get rid of all the clutter, okay? Sound good? So step 1 is to make sure that your settings are adjusted so that you can view at least 100 emails in your inbox simultaneously. So there's usually a setting that says, okay, do you want to view 25 at a time, 50 at a time, 100 at a time, 200 at a time, I think is the next interval. So make sure your settings are adjusted so that you can see at least 100 emails. Then you want to start looking for regular emails that you get. These are emails that come every day, every week, every month. And then you want to pull out a piece of paper or a Post-it note and start writing down those recurring companies. So let's just say maybe you're subscribed to Victoria's Secret's email, or maybe you're also on some newsletter publications. Maybe you're subscribed to the New York Times or the Wall Street Journal or whatever it is, BuzzFeed, whatever it is that you read. So I want you to write down the things that are coming on a regular basis every day, every week, or every month. Keep a list of those, okay? So that is step 1. Once you have a list of those on paper, what you want to do is start putting those addresses, the from addresses, into your Gmail search field or into your Outlook search field. And that'll bring up all of those related messages. So let me just show you an example here. If you look at the very top of my screen, I have this mock email put in here. Let's call it Rudolph@mremail.com. If you put that into your search field, then you'll notice on the bottom, all of the emails with this person's name in it start coming up. Okay, so that's what that would look like in your email client. All right, so once you sort all of those persons' emails, now you can begin selecting them all and deleting them. So obviously you're going to make, this doesn't mean that you're unsubscribing or anything like that, but if you have a newsletter or something like that that you're subscribed to that you just don't have the time to read on a regular basis, and you're still holding on to, you know, publications from back in 2017, 2016, like, let's be real with ourselves. When are you going to sit down and go back and like binge read 2 to 3 years worth of articles? You're probably not. Like, let's just be honest. So it's a good time to just start going back and mass deleting those things. So at the top of your screen, there's that little select all button, which you can use to begin deleting those emails in bulk. Now, one thing that I didn't say, if you have questions at any time, feel free to type them into the chat box and I can answer your questions as we go along. You don't have to wait until the end. All right, so that is step 1 and step 2. Step 3 is after the list is formed, you use the Gmail search to start finding those email messages. And as I said, you start just deleting, like bulk deleting those emails. Oh, I think I went backwards. All right, then step 4 is that you want to, before you bulk delete, okay, so just go back to the page here. Before you bulk delete, you want to just scan the page, like just eyeball it very quickly to make sure that you're not deleting anything important, because sometimes weird things happen. Like you put in that you want emails just from rudolph@mremail.com, but every once in a while, like there's one random email that sneaks in there that's not from Mr. Rudolph, but it might be from somebody else that has a similar email address. So I always like to just do a quick eyeball scan to make sure that I'm not deleting anything that I am not intending to delete. All right, so that would be step 4. Step 5 is after going through all of the names on your list. So remember how I said you're going to make that either a Post-it note list or on a piece of paper, list all of the companies that you want to delete. You go through that list. So every single name, you're going to put them into the search box one by one by one by one until they're done. Once you get through that list, then you're going to go all the way back to the oldest emails. So if you're dealing with more than 100 emails, remember I said you have it set up to a page. If you have more than 100 emails in your inbox, then to get to emails, 101 to 200, you're going to have to go to page 2. And the same thing, to get to the 300 emails, you're going to have to go to page 3. You want to go back as far as you can, all the way to the end, and then start making sure that you don't have any other names that you overlooked, that you didn't write down on your list. And when you identify those names, you write them down, same process, write them down on your list, and then start searching for those and then mass deleting those emails. All right, step number 6 is after you've gotten everything, go back to the page, go back to the main page, go page by page, and then start deleting. So I like starting in the back because sometimes it's easier to get rid of the older emails. So you've done most of the bulk deleting. At this point now, you're going to go page by page. So go back and look at your oldest page. Let's say that your emails go back 20 pages, right? Then you're going to go back to page 20 and you're going to scan that page and start checking off anything that you can delete and just delete it. And I want you to be ruthless about this process. Like delete, delete, delete. Like don't hold on to something that's from 3 years ago. Like absolutely just let it go. If you have not gone back to look at it 3 years later, like you do not need it, stop lying to yourself. Like just let it go. Don't be an email hoarder. All right. So go back and start deleting. All right, let me just check there. I feel like I'm going fast. I want to make sure that there's no questions. We're already at step 6. I'm going to jump into step 7 in just a second. Feel free to type any questions you have into the chat box so that I can answer them as we go. All right, I'm going to go on to step number 7, which is at this point, like once you do this bulk deleting process, and then after you finish the bulk deleting, if you go page by page and just check off everything that can be deleted and then delete it, you should at this point be down to a very small number of emails. And I would say, and I've done this process. I remember like many, many, many years ago, I was at like a couple thousand. It was probably like 13,000 emails or something like that from managing multiple email accounts and all of that stuff. And I was able to apply this process similarly there. And I got down to 100 emails very quickly. So I think when I was doing it with 13,000, it might have taken me like an hour or 2. I think it took me about 2 hours to go through everything. So you can absolutely do this process and it doesn't have to take a long time. So if you're dealing with let's say, 7,000 emails or less, like this shouldn't take you very long to get through this process. All right, so now step 7. Once you're down to a small number of email messages, you can start going through them one by one. So now what I'm saying small, I mean you're at 100 or less. So use the bulk process until you get down to like 100 or less. At that point, it's actually feasible to go through one by one. Do not, if you have more than 100 emails in your inbox, try a one-by-one approach to getting rid of the emails. It's too difficult, and it actually will be an arduous process. And we already know if you have that many emails, so many of them are from years ago, and so it's a lot easier to let them go. So now when you're down to that 100 emails, here's the process. You can go through one by one, you can read the email, and then you want to make a decision to either file the email, archive the email, or delete the email. So those 100 messages are probably going to be completely, mostly unread, or things that are recently important. And so you want to decide, okay, does this get filed, does it get archived, or does it get deleted? All right, so that is the process of clearing out your inbox, all right? Getting it down below 100 or all the way to inbox 0. So once your inbox is clear, now you have this opportunity to really optimize it and operate like a pro. So I'm going to talk about a little bit of email management for successful people like you, because I know that you are working towards accomplishing big goals and plans that you have for your life. And trust me, if you are organized in your inbox and able to, show up in a more powerful way in terms of your responsiveness at work or in your business or with your family or with your friends, then those opportunities that you have in life will begin to multiply for sure. Okay, May says, what's the difference between filing it and archive? Okay, excellent question. One of which that I'm about to show you in just a second. So the filing system, May is not a plant. She did not know that was going to be my next slide. So the filing system. So there's a couple ways to file. One is folder filing. So whether you're using Outlook or Gmail, you can usually set up a folder filing system. This means you set up folders on the side, and I'll show you this in just a second. You name those folders for different categories. I like naming them for things that I'm working on. Like you could name them for projects that you're working on, or you can, if you're in a business, you can name them by client that you're working on. I also have folders for reoccurring things like business receipts. I have a folder for all of that. I have a folder for personal receipts. I did mention client folders. I'm trying to think. Oh, travel documents. So I do a lot of traveling. I have a folder where, let's say I book my airline tickets. I don't let those airline tickets, those e-tickets, like sit in my inbox. I put them into the travel folder, especially if my trip is like a couple weeks out or a couple months out. Like I don't want to be scanning through my inbox later trying to figure out like what happened to my tickets. Same thing with if you're traveling via train, right? So you set up folders for whatever things you have. Some people like having a folder for things like follow-up, emails that you need to follow up on later. You might put those into a follow-up folder. Then there is archiving. Archiving is when you basically say inside of your inbox, and Gmail in particular, I'm pretty sure you can do this in Outlook too, that I would like to take these emails out of my primary inbox, but I don't want to delete them. So archiving basically puts the emails into a, I don't want to say it's like the cloud. It's not the cloud, but it's like a folder within Gmail. I'm trying to think of how to explain it without getting technical. But it basically takes it and puts it into a, let's say it's like an invisible folder within Gmail where those emails live. If you search for them in the search bar, they will come up. So they never go away, but they're not living in your inbox anymore. If that makes sense. And then it's sorting. Okay, so you also want to be able to sort your emails so that it keeps your email inbox from piling up. Okay, Crystal says, what's a good use case for archiving? I find that I rarely use it. So Crystal, I would say that used to be true for me as well, but now I do a lot of archiving. So let me think about some of the things that I archive are, I archive messages from people. Let's just say that somebody is having an event or something like that that's coming, and I haven't made a decision of whether or not I'm going to go. So I don't want to throw it, like I don't want to trash it. So I might archive it to get it out of my inbox. I put it on my calendar as a potential to do. And then if I need to go and refer back to it, then I can go and refer back to the email for specifics on, the location or anything like that. I also archive certain types of, let's say if you're in a store, for example, and you pay for something, then they might email you a receipt automatically, but it's not a business receipt that you need to track. And it's not necessarily like a personal receipt that you would file on your taxes, but you might want to refer back to it. So it's basically like things that you want to refer back to later, but you don't want to keep them in your inbox. You can archive them and be able to go back to them at a later date. There's also been some like personal communications that I've had with people, let's say like with my doctor or something like that. It's like, I don't need this right now, and it definitely doesn't need to sit in my inbox, but if I ever have to reference it, then I'll just archive it and I can always search and pull it back up. All right, so that is how that works. So let me show you what I mean. So when I said sorting your emails, Gmail in particular has the ability for you to be able to categorize your emails to come into your primary inbox, into a social category, and into a promotions category. Now, Gmail decides on your behalf which emails fit into this category, and as those emails come in, it filters them to one of those tabs. So literally you have to click on the social tab to see all your social emails. So things that might come in there, let's say that you're on Facebook, all of your Facebook messages, like things that people are sending to you, will populate in that social tab. And promotions might be things that are coming from stores. So if you're, shopping at Macy's, those one-day sales, or you're Victoria's Secret or wherever you shop, those promotional emails will go in the promotion tab. Now, over time, based on your behavior, Gmail will understand how you prioritize things, and it will get better about where to filter things. You can also, let's just say if you got an email from a friend and it accidentally populated into your social tab, you can just drag and drop it into your primary tab, and the intelligence behind Gmail will learn over time that, okay, emails that come from this person aren't actually social, they're considered primary messages and should now get filtered into the primary tab. So this is one way of being able to sort things. Remember how I talked about like your fun email versus your business mail? This is one way to kind of separate your fun mail from your business or work mail by having this tabbing system. I'm like getting congested all of a sudden. I don't know what it is. Okay, I mentioned the foldering system. So on the side here where you see the arrows, this is an example of someone who's using folders. So they've created folders for need to follow up, different projects that they're working on. So you can create those folders on your email, whether you're using Outlook, Gmail, doesn't matter, and drag emails into those folders. Another way that I utilize that is if there's emails from a certain person, like let's just say that I really like getting emails from Daily Success Routine, I can create a folder where I save all of my Daily Success Routine newsletters and emails and, read them, once a week or however often, right? So you might have a brand that you enjoy doing that for, or a personal brand that you follow that you like saving their emails. For me, also as a business owner, I keep a folder of emails that I like that might be inspiring to me that I can think about in terms of our marketing for our company. And so I'll keep a folder of those kind of things so that I can refer back to them and just get ideas when I'm thinking like, oh, well, what's my inspiration for being able to develop our next couple of newsletters or emails? I can go back to that folder, but I'm not like leaving it sitting in my email inbox because I'm afraid to delete it and I want to go back to it. Okay, now here's the archive. So you see that little arrow there going down? That is the archive button. So you would just check things off that you want to archive and then hit that button and they'll be archived. And if you don't trust it, like just try it out, do one email, archive it, and then type it into the search box and you'll see it pops right back up in search just as if it was in your inbox, but it's no longer taking up space in your inbox. So your numbers go down because those emails are not sitting in your primary inbox. They're like in this backup box called the archives. All right, so that is how you utilize filing and sorting in order to manage your email like a pro once you have your inbox numbers down.
Hey, do you want to ensure you follow through on your goals? Then I want to invite you to join the Daily Success Achievers Club. First, you'll decide on what 90-day project you want to accomplish, start the business, write a book, create your workshop, let go of the weight, anything you want. Then we'll put a schedule in place, optimize your productivity, and I'll hold you accountable to getting it done using my proven system. It's 100% risk-free. You either follow the roadmap and achieve your goals, or I'll refund your membership fee. Just go to dailysuccessroutine.com and click on the Achievers Club to get all of the details. I'll see you inside the club.
Daily success, daily success. Learn the week ahead. Be excellent. Make money move. Achieve your goals. Transform your life. One routine at a time. Daily success, daily success. Go and get yours. You better go get yours. Daily success, daily success, daily success. You better go get yours. Daily success, daily success, daily success, daily success.